Those who are all in favor, say aye. Aye. Those who oppose? Okay, the ayes have it. The meeting will now come to order. Thank you all for being here today. Our primary item of business is to consider a new piece of legislation regarding Bill number 012 and the closing remarks at Keystone Boys State. We will now proceed to the introduction of Bill number 012 regarding a statewide toll tax. Do I hear a motion to begin this? Is there a second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those who oppose? In the eyes of the chair, the ayes win. The floor is now open for the Senate pro tempore to give a brief summary on the bill and its contents.
Good morning, everyone. Senate Bill number 12, Keystone Toll Tax Act. Mr. Merrick Young of Salicio City introduced the following bill, which was referred to the Committees on Commerce, being enacted by the 86th session of the Keystone State Legislature that, 1, this act establishes a border entry toll tax on all interstate highways entering the Keystone State, prescribes enforcement procedures, and allocates revenue. 2, the purpose of this act is to establish a fair and consistent toll taxation system on all interstate highways entering the Keystone State from bordering states. Revenue generated shall be allocated toward the maintenance, repair, and improvement of Keystone State highway infrastructure, as well as funding for emergency road services. 3, toll establishment and rate. 1, any person or vehicle entering the Keystone State through an interstate highway bordering another state shall be subject to a one-time entry toll of $5 per vehicle. 2, the toll shall apply to all vehicle classes, including personal automobiles, commercial trucks, motorcycles, and recreational vehicles. 3, toll stations shall be constructed and maintained at all interstate border entry points as determined by the Keystone State Department of Transportation. 4, accepted methods of payment. 1, the following methods of payment shall be accepted at all toll stations: cash payment at staff toll booths, electronic payment via EasyPass or approved transponder, credit or debit card at automated kiosks. Vehicles that refuse or are unable to pay shall be turned away or directed back to their state of origin. Enforcement and penalties. 1, any vehicle passing through a toll point without payment shall be issued a citation by the Keystone State Toll Enforcement Authority. 2, the registered owner shall have 28 calendar days from the date of citation to remit full payment plus an additional $25 penalty. Failure to pay within 28 days shall result in a referral to the Keystone State District Court. The registered owner shall receive notice of scheduled hearing and is entitled to a fair trial. Upon conviction, the offending party may be subject to a fine not exceeding $500 per violation or a maximum of 90 days of incarceration as determined by the presiding judge, or suspension of Keystone State driving privileges not to exceed 1 year for repeat offenders. Revenue allocation. All toll revenue shall be deposited into the Keystone State Highway Infrastructure Fund within the state treasury. Revenue shall be allocated as follows: 60% towards maintenance and repair of existing interstate infrastructure, 25% toward construction of toll booths and border entry systems, 15% toward the Keystone State Emergency Road Services Fund. Administration and oversight. The Keystone State Department of Transportation shall administer this act and designate toll points, set operational hours, and hire necessary personnel. The department shall submit an annual report to the General Assembly detailing revenue collected, expenditures made, and the condition of infrastructure funded by this act. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The chair would like to recognize Mr. Merrick Young for a 1-minute discussion on the bill.
You will have 1 minute. Time begins when you start speaking.
The reason for this bill is because many vehicles do pass through our state for either trade or tourism, either within our state for the trade or even just passing through. So I believe this bill will be very good to bring in any state funding for as many of the issues that he had put down already. And now I would like to yield the rest of my time for any questions.
Are there any questions on the floor?
All right, seeing that there are no further questions, we will now proceed to a vote on the passage of the bill. All those in favor for go ahead.
I have not yet been able to do the research for that. I just never was able to get to it with the limited time that we had, but it will definitely reach upwards of a couple hundred million. I believe it was around like $2 million of allocated funds we will need just to build some of the toll booths and stuff.
Is there anyone from the opposition who wishes to speak on the subject? Yeah?
To be honest, most people that come to the state already have to pay for many tolls through the turnpike and many things similar of that sorts. And many people do not think twice about heading into the turnpike to speed up their way of travel. So I believe that many of these businesses will not think about just paying a $5 toll booth one time.
Excuse me, sir, can you sit down?
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. The chair would like to motion to move the floor to debate. Could I get a motion for this? Those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. Okay. In the eyes of the chair, the ayes win. May I have 2 for the opposition, raise their hand, and 2 for, raise their hand.
2 for opposition, raise your hand.
All right. Yep, come up. Anyone else? Is there one for pro? Yeah, come up. Yeah. Okay, you will each be allocated 1 minute to speak on the topic. Your time begins on your first word.
Pro will go first. Yep. You can-
Hello, gentlemen. This is a very common ordinance, forgive me, bill that is passed in other states. These rates are significantly cheaper than a lot of metropolitan areas, such as New York and California. These tolls are seemingly exceptionally low. I don't see any issue in this. The fact that a toll exists does not discourage people, especially large logistics companies, from shipping their goods, as there is no excess tariff on it. And this also avoids us making large expansions. Has anyone here ever seen or heard of Breezewood? It is a sort of cutoff in the highway that is there, and it congests traffic, and it is just no good. And the reason that exists is because we cannot fund highways when we were building the Pennsylvania Turnpike in the 50s. So this is a very necessary and reasonable bill. Thank you.
The chair will now recognize the speaker who opposes.
Seeing that there was an estimated cost of about $2 million funding for the toll booths, we have to ask, is it really worth creating such things? And we also don't have an exact estimate of the revenue generated. So we have to think, is this fully thought out? Is this something we really do want to implement and spend a lot of our tax dollars on? And like I said earlier, we want to encourage trade. We want to encourage tourism. We want to encourage people to come to our state, and we want to broaden, we want to broaden our industries, whether outside education, outside healthcare. We want to do other things, and we want to expand. We want to grow our economy. We want to develop as a state, as a growing and emerging state. And I truly think that when we want to encourage people to come here, I don't think fining them or requiring payment to come here is necessarily the right decision. I think we should focus on trying to limit the costs into coming here so we can get more people to expand our economy.
Thank you. You guys may be seated now. Okay. Due to time constraints, the chair will now motion to go directly into voting for this bill. Those in favor for this bill, say aye. Those opposed, say nay. Okay, so the voting will take place then. We will now begin the voting here. Those in favor of passing bill number 012, say aye. Those who oppose, say nay. Okay, in the eyes of the chair, the ayes have it. This bill has now been passed. Where's the other paper at? There. Okay, so going on to our second and final bill of today and of the state, we'll be going on to and opening the bill for the resolution 250. Do I have a motion to open and begin introduction for this bill? Those in favor say aye. Those opposed? Okay, in the eyes of the chair, the ayes have it. I will now like to introduce the Speaker of the House to go over the bill.
Resolution 250, a resolution thanking the American Legion and the Keystone Legislature on June 20th, 2026. Mr. Dennis Mulholland of Rhodes City introduced the following resolution. A resolution on behalf of all the citizens of the 86th session of the Keystone Boys State. We would like to express our gratitude to all those who have had a part in allowing us to have this experience that shapes a lifetime. The Legionnaires and counselors have allowed us to experience life in the role of city, county, and state governments. These opportunities have allowed us to further learn about leadership, government, and public service, while strengthening our public speaking abilities as future leaders. Keystone Boys State has shaped the lives of these citizens. We would like to appreciate the Legionnaires for instilling discipline and inspiring us through anecdotes of their service, preparing citizens to pursue lives of service to their communities and nation. The leadership of the Legionnaires and counselors and inspiring to all citizens, and we are grateful to learn from such incredible mentors and leaders. Finally, a special thank you to First Sergeant Curtis for motivating all of us every day, and to all of the Legionnaires, counselors, Messiah University, and all others who have contributed over the last year of planning to ensure the success of Keystone Boys State 2026.
Okay, thank you. Can I have Mr. Dennis come up here to speak on the bill for 2 minutes?
You'll have 2 minutes, and your time starts.
Thank you. This resolution was introduced to thank the Legionnaires. Over the past year, they've been preparing to have us here. Every day, we've been going through city, county, state, every part of government, and they've taught us a lot about leadership, especially First Sergeant Curtis, every single day motivating us morning to night, and all the counselors who have come back for years and years just to instill discipline and help us be better leaders in the future. I yield my time.
All right, we will take one other person to give their remarks or give a description. Raise your hand if you are willing to talk for 1 minute. Yes, come up. The chair recognizes Charlie Wirtz to speak for 1 minute.
You have 1 minute beginning.
Hi, Charlie Wirtz from Minto City. I think this resolution pretty much speaks for itself, but I think that this is very important because I think that along our week here, we don't actually have a lot of opportunity to express our gratitude to everyone here that works. Most of the time we're spent working on legislature, we're either in counties, we're working on ordinances in cities, and through the whole time, the Legionnaires and counselors are all there to just enhance our experience. And I believe that without them, honestly, this program would be incomplete. Like, we are the primary people that participate in this summer camp. But that being said, we probably are not the most important. I feel like the counselors truly make this experience for us. I submit the rest of my time to the board.
The chair would like to request a motion for any more discussion. Are there any more people who would like to discuss this bill? Seeing that there are no motions on the floor, we will now begin the voting process. Is there a motion to begin the voting process for this bill? Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say nay. Okay, seeing the ayes in the chair, the ayes have won. We will now begin the voting process on the resolution at 250. Those in favor of passing resolution 250, talking about the Keystone Boys State, say aye. Those opposed say nay. Okay, seeing the ayes of the chair have won, the resolution 250 is now passed. Before we adjourn today, the chair would just like to take a moment to say a huge thank you to everyone in this room. Thank you everyone for your hard work, your detailed arguments during debates, and for everything you have contributed to not only this session, but all the sessions throughout the week. You all did an incredible job, and I'd just like to say how proud I am of both chambers and their commitment to Keystone Boys State's success. Thank you for everyone, and thank you for everything. The chair would now like to make a motion to adjourn the final 2026 Keystone Boys State meeting. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say nay. Okay, the ayes have it. The meeting is officially adjourned. Thank you again, everyone.
We will get started in about 10, 15 minutes, so you can just relax for a little bit until then. Thank you. You can be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and welcome to our 2026 Keystone Boys State graduation ceremony. We thank you for your presence here today. Legionnaire Curtis, commence the Keystone Boys State 2026 graduation ceremony.
Keystone, attitude! Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of the colors. Remain standing for the national anthem, pledge of allegiance, and the benediction. Present! Up! Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty God, we thank you that we have come to this day, a completion of this week of Keystone Boys State. We ask that you'd be with us for all of our proceedings. Ask for your blessing on these young men and their families. For God and country, amen.
Our Keystone guest speaker is Senator Dave McCormick. Senator Dave McCormick was born in Washington, Pennsylvania, and raised in Bloomsburg. The son of two lifelong teachers and prominent educator, and the oldest of two boys. Dave was raised to understand the value of hard work. Dave was nominated to the United States Military Academy by a Pennsylvania senator and became the first kid from Bloomsburg to attend West Point in decades. After graduating, Dave went on to serve in the 82nd Airborne Division as a paratrooper. He was deployed to the Middle East during the first Gulf War, and following his service in Iraq, he retired as a captain. In 2025, Dave called to service again. This time is the highest level of government, including as Undersecretary of Treasury and as Deputy National Security Advisor for 4 years. Dave spearheaded the fight to protect American technology from Chinese theft, advised the President on key national security issues, and helped negotiate the global response to the 2008 financial crisis. Following the administration, Dave joined Bridgewater Associates, one of the largest, most successful investment firms in the world, which manages the pensions plans of groups including teachers, firefighters, and law enforcement. He served as CEO until he resigned to run for Senate in Pennsylvania in 2022. Dave and Dana are proud to support organizations that work with veterans and their families. Senator McCormick is looking forward to using his unique leadership experience over the last 4 decades to deliver results for Keystone State. Dave McCormick is also a 1982 alumni Keystone Boys State graduate. I introduce you to Senator Dave McCormick.
Thank you. Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, sir. It is great to be here. It's hard not to be optimistic about America when you look out into this audience and see these great young Americans who have thought about the call to service. And it's particularly great for me to be back at Keystone Boys State. This program has meant so much to the lives of thousands of young men from across Pennsylvania over many decades, myself included. And when I was hearing the first sergeant there call us all to attention, it took me back more than 40 years to Private Perry, who was part of my Keystone Boys State experience. And it was really something that opened my eyes to the future. It's an honor to join you as we celebrate the accomplishments of such a great group of young leaders. And over the past week, you've done more than learned about government. You practiced leadership, you built relationships, you debated ideas, and you gained a deeper understanding of what it means to be an engaged citizen. And that's something that's particularly important right now. At a time that seems to reward apathy and cynicism, Boys State offers a refreshing change. I'd particularly like to acknowledge the American Legion's support for Pennsylvania Keystone Boys State. On behalf of a grateful Commonwealth, we thank you. And I'd also like to recognize 2 great leaders who are with us today. First, please join me in thanking Carl Curtis for a remarkable 19 years of service to Keystone Boys State. A longtime mentor and current First Sergeant, Carl has shaped the lives of thousands of Pennsylvanians. Thank you, Carl. Thank you. Thank you for your dedication, your mentorship, and your service to our great Commonwealth. I'd also like to ask you to join me in thanking Bubby Lacey. A graduate of this program, Bubby has served on the staff here every year since 2013, rising from a counselor to this program dean. Bubby, you embody the spirit of this program, service, commitment, and growth. Thank you. All right, now let me begin. I'm the 54th elected senator in the history of Pennsylvania. And I'm the 9th senator, sort of hard to believe, in the history of America that's a graduate of West Point. But I also have a title that my 6 daughters and my wife Dina would never have dreamed possible. The best dressed senator from Pennsylvania. Can you believe that? Even my buddy John Fetterman agrees with that title. To hold this seat at this moment for our country and this Commonwealth is truly the honor of a lifetime. It's a real privilege. Not so long ago, I sat where you sat in an audience on graduation day as a member of Keystone Boys State. It must have been, I guess, 1982, we figured out. And I remember fondly the friends I made, the mischief we got into, and the distinct feeling then, I remember it, that we were living in one of the most consequential moments in our history. When I was your age, sitting in an auditorium just like this. At the time, we were engaged in a generational contest with the Soviet Union, the Cold War, a contest to decide whether the world and ultimately America would be organized around the principles of freedom, or whether we'd be organized around the principles of tyranny. We were coming out of a rough patch in America. Civic strife, violence, economic malaise. When I graduated from high school in 1983 and headed off to West Point, Pennsylvania had 13% unemployment. Globalization was hollowing out towns like mine, Bloomsburg, where the carpet mill that had 2,000 employees was going to 100. And it was devastating many of our local communities. It felt like America's future at that time, when I was sitting in your seat, was hanging in the balance. And it sometimes feels like that again, doesn't it? All of you are coming of age in a moment of profound, consequential change. Arguably, the most consequential moment in all of our lifetimes sitting in this auditorium, maybe in history. A technological revolution is changing the way we work, the way we learn, how we fight our wars, how we cure our diseases. And if we handle it wisely, it will usher in a golden age of prosperity for America. But it also poses real risk, including disruptions to our jobs, our economy, our security. And we need to address those too. We need leadership at this moment for our country to help guide us through this moment. But the change just isn't technological. We have losing confidence in our public institutions. The confidence in our public institutions is at historic lows. The Supreme Court, Congress, the media, even the military and our churches. People have lost trust. About only a fifth of Americans have trust in those institutions compared to 25 years ago. Over the past half century, Americans have become far less likely to spend time with their neighbors and far less likely to say they trust one another. Young men especially, are struggling. Boys are more likely to fall behind in school, less likely to finish their education, and more likely to experience behavioral and developmental challenge. High school-aged young men are far more likely than their female counterparts to die by suicide. Too many young men are growing up without structure, without purpose, without mentorship, without a sense of belonging that young people need to have to become strong adults and responsible citizens. And our challenges for America don't end at the borders. We're in a fight, a consequential one with China, first and foremost, followed by Russia and Iran and North Korea and radical Islamists across the globe, each having a very different vision for the world for the 21st century. But they all share one goal. All those adversaries share one goal: a diminished, weakened United States, unable to chart her own destiny. That's pretty heavy stuff. But I hope I've impressed upon you the gravity, the importance, the significance of this moment. We are living through a technological upheaval, civic distrust, social disconnection, and danger, growing danger abroad. The legendary Secretary of State, my friend Henry Kissinger, a guy I got to know when he was in his 90s and encouraged me to run for office, once wrote, "In moments like this, moments just like this in history, leadership is indispensable." Leadership makes all the difference. And when the future hangs in the balance and the path forward is hard to find, hard to even see, young men and women, just like yourselves, must chart the way forward. It's not going to be up to the old folks in this room. The future is yours. What we become and what we are depends on you. And that's why I'm so honored to be with you today. And I really mean it. Honored to be with you today. This program does something that's so sadly missing in our society. It calls young men like yourselves to engage, to accept, to own a stake in the future. You're not price takers. You're going to shape the future of our country, our communities. To be a leader, each of you has attended Boys State and accepted that call, and I commend you. But if I leave you with anything today, any single message, I hope you'll remember it's this. What you learned and did this week is a first step, a small step on a journey. If this program lit a fire in your belly, like it did for me, and I hope it did for you, then you're going to keep looking for opportunities to be a leader. Along the way, you'll face real ups and real downs. You'll have great successes. You'll have great training, go to great schools, accomplish great things, but you're also going to fail, especially if you try to do big, important things. Failure is part of the process. You'll fall short of your goals. We all do. But if you do it right, you'll learn more from those failures than your successes. But that's really not the point. The point is, no one can make that journey alone. No one can make that journey to leadership, to making a difference for their community, their country, alone. If you want to be a leader, you'll need support along the way. When I was a sophomore at Bloomsburg High School, a couple years younger than all of you, I was a very mediocre football player. I spent most of my games on the bench, and I'd get called in at the end if we were winning big or losing big, but only at the end, after the outcome had been decided. And then a new coach came. The old coach got fired, a new coach came. And he spent the entire summer watching game films. His name was Coach Tom Lynn. He was hard, tough, blunt. It was all about winning for him, building a team. He watched all the films from the previous season. And he called me into his office and he told me something I had not yet believed about myself. He said, well, I see when you win at the end, whether we're winning or losing, you always give it everything you've got. You always put it all on the field. I think you have real potential. And that one sentence, that small act, changed the trajectory of my life, believe it or not. That one football coach. He didn't hand me success, but he gave me an opportunity. He told me I'd have to work hard. He challenged me. He pushed me. And at the end of camp, football camp, my junior year, he named me co-captain of the team. Inconceivable to me. No one was more surprised than me. He saw something in me before I could see it in myself. He believed in me. I began to believe in myself because of that, and I ended up finishing my senior year as all-state linebacker. And that helped me get into West Point. And West Point